Yo, what's going on, y'all? It's your man's Trail, and I'm back with another video. First and foremost, I want to say call halal, Yahweh, Bahashem, Yahweh Shai. Ooh, forgive me, hold on. Hey, I'm glad we did that on video, because a lot of y'all got to know we're not supposed to be praying with a hot hat on or prophesying with a hat on. We keep our head uncovered when we bringing out this word of truth. So, again, I want to say call halal, Yahweh, Bahashem, Yahweh Shai, Bahashem, Rakah Kodash. All right, that is giving all glory, praises, and honor to the Father who's in heaven, whose name is Yahweh, in the name of his only begotten Son, Yahweh Shai, who the world ignorantly, which means not they don't know, they call him Jesus. All right, his name is Yahweh Shai. That's the only name you could be saved by, all right? His real name. Y'all, we finna get into some very fun precepts today. Kind of sunny outside. I got these shades on. Hey, you ain't here to look at me, so hey. Man, beautiful. We're going to go over Ezekiel chapter 36 today, and it's going to be in the New Living Translation. But before we do that, let me grab a couple precepts. You already know that this message is to the 12 tribes of Israel who are scattered across the earth right now, who make up the blacks, the Latinos, and the Native Americans. Bro, my bad. I hate when my hair is looking crazy. So the blacks, Latinos, and Native Americans, all right? Why do I say that? We all suffer the curses of Deuteronomy chapter 28. Okay, the Lord said that this will be a sign and a wonder, the curses that we're under, right? The low seat, the low life, right? Being at the bottom, not having anything, not being satisfied. He said this will be the sign and the wonder that's upon his people forever. I guess we'll start off by getting that. This ain't going to be a long video, man. This is a quick hit. If you guys are not familiar with this channel, we do live videos. That's where, man, I'm teaching for about at least 3 hours to 4 or 5 hours out of the week. We about to my stuff is already it's almost here. I got my tripod, Garmin on the way. We finna be hitting these streets soon too, so that's another live video you're gonna get through the week. And these videos right here are like quick videos, so you can get a quick fix here. Quick fix. Deuteronomy chapter 28. When I say a verse, I need you to go there so you can have understanding. Man, would that be verse 48? Verse 46, it says, and they shall be upon you. What is they? The curses, when you read the context of the chapter, that he put on his people if they disobey his commandments. It says, they shall be upon you for a sign and for a wonder, and upon your seed forever. Okay? Because you serve not the Lord your God, all right, your power with joyfulness and with gladness of heart for the abundance of all things. Therefore shall you serve your enemies, which the Lord shall send against you, in hunger and in thirst and in nakedness and in want of all things. And he shall put a yoke of iron upon your neck until he have destroyed you. Okay? So yes, he says you shall serve your enemies. I need you to understand, when you're at the bottom of these construction jobs, when you're at the bottom of these warehouse jobs, when you're doing Uber, Lyft, DoorDash, when you're working for a business owner, when you're being that I don't care if you're doing accounting, I don't care if you're doing CEO work, I don't care what you're doing as a black, Latino, Native American, or even the speckled bird, right, who look like the other nations, but they came from one of a Hebrew Israelite man's loins, whether that was 10 generations ago, 2 generations ago. If you come from the seed of us, all right, you're going to be an Israelite no matter who the woman was. It's through the father's seed line. Israel was built on Israelite men, the 12 sons of Jacob, right? And how do you think they built their nation if it was only 12 sons with other nations? So that kills it right there. It's who your father's seed line is. Okay, the seed through Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob. That's who we're talking to. If you look around, who's at the bottom of every society? Who has to spend money with other people's face on it, right? Who's really suffering out here? But if you want more context on any of that, you can go to my live videos. For you Latinos, I have a series called Northern Kingdom, and I have a 5-episode series, over 25 hours dedicated to telling you guys history, all right, mysteries in the Bible that's speaking about you and, you know, your nature as a people and how special you are to him as well. Also some downfalls, but you're going to know that it's true if you truly are one of these people, right? And also future stories and future promises that the Lord promises us, that we have hope and faith will come to pass. So let's go to Genesis chapter 27. I always go here, right? And we'll be bouncing from the New Living Translation and the KJV. Let's try to make this a 30-minute video, quick hit. Genesis chapter 27:29 says, let people serve you. All right, these are the blessings to Jacob. Jacob's father was Isaac. All right, the bloodline that's going to be saved and put above all people at the end of the world is the bloodline through Abraham, then Isaac, and then Jacob. And all of Jacob's descendants are going to be blessed. That's in Romans chapter 9 in your New Testament as well. So it says, let people serve you and nations bow down to you. Whoa, that's in the Bible? Yes. Be Lord over your brethren. All right, come on now. And let your mother's sons, all right, who's Jacob's mother? Rebecca. Rebecca had how many kids? 2. Jacob and Esau, twins in the womb. Esau was rejected. All right, the Lord hates Esau and loves Jacob. That's this whole black and white thing that you see going on. It's been since this period right here. It says, let your mother's sons, that's him and his descendants, bow down to you. Cursed be everyone that curse you, and blessed be everyone that bless you. So Jacob got a good blessing right there. To go further into what that blessing means, you got the 37th verse, which says, and Isaac answered and said unto Esau, behold, I have made him your Lord, and all his brethren, okay, have I given to him for servants. I want you to hold on to that word servant, because that's going to mean a lot to the next pieces of this puzzle. I have given to him all of his brethren, that's the other nations, for servants. With corn and wine have I sustained him. And what shall I do now unto you, my son? So what you want me to give you, Esau? Because when you read the context of the chapter, Esau is crying like a bum. Now, in the 40th verse, you see the blessing of Esau Edom, which is the red man, the self-proclaimed white man. All right, the Lord never called him a white man. He named himself that. It says, and by your sword, and named you black, all right, and brown, like a nasty stain. So, and by your sword, which goes into the Hebrew etymology of weapons. So by your weapons shall you live, and shall serve your brother. He made them to be under you, but you're in the world right now where they're over you, and we're going to get context of why and what's the conclusion of it. What's going to be the end story. That's what this video is about today. And by your sword you shall live, and shall serve your brother. And it shall come to pass, when you shall have the dominion, that you shall break his yoke from off your neck. So at some point, it says that Esau Edom, the self-proclaimed white man, the red man, is going to have dominion over the people who the Lord said was supposed to have dominion over him. So it's like a seesaw. The power seat changes. All right. So yes, he made all of them to be our servants, all of these different nations that you see, right? But he's saying there's going to come a time where Esau Edom, all right, is going to be over us. Okay. And break that bondage, that yoke of bondage, meaning our power over them, to tell them what to do, to put them to work. Right now, they're your managers, they're your top CEOs, their faces on the money. They have power to take your life, put you in jail, right? Shadow ban you, block you, say whatever they want to say, be proud and lofty, okay? They're in their dominion right now, all right? Until the dominion of the Messiah, Yahawashi, not Jesus, Yahawashi. If you want information about that name, go into my community post. I have that name and the Father's name. I have the Hebrew to go into it, and all the videos that you can go to understand his name and why it's important to learn the name that the Lord said will be revealed to us when we come back into our remembrance. Okay? He had to reveal his name to the people that were speaking Hebrew when he walked the earth. He said, I have given them your name. So the name of the Father and the name of the Son was never just a thing everybody always knew. They called them many different titles. The Lord goes by many titles, but he doesn't have many names. I want to grab this in the NLT real quick. Genesis 27 verse 29. Okay, but yeah, now you know where weapons came from. The self-proclaimed white man, the red man, was blessed with weapons. That's why he invented the nuclear bomb, right? Amalek, the small hatters who are pretending to be Jews, they created the nuclear missile. All right, I'll show you guys when I do a video about missiles and nukes and nuclear missiles in the Bible, where you find that. I'll show you guys the dude's face. They created the atomic bomb, you know, that they dropped on Hiroshima, I believe that's the name of it, and Nagasaki, whatever the heck, right? The Japanese. And then they created the Glock 40. They created the Smith & Wesson. They created the FN. All your favorite toys that we terrorize in our own communities with right now, these are their creations, man. And then outside of King David, who was the baddest with the weapon, right? Wickedness multiplied in the earth through King Alexander, starting, and that's in your Bible too, in the book of Maccabees. But anyways, man, I'm trying to keep it short and simple. I'm gonna over explain it. So Genesis chapter 27 verse 29 says in the New Living Translation, You have to watch these other translations, but I'm going to take you where, okay, what they did say is the truth. May many nations become your servants, and may they bow down to you. See, you wasn't taught that this was your original position. This is why they have a deeply penetrated innate hatred for you. Okay? May many nations become your servants, and may they bow down to you. May you be the master over your brothers. See, that's why they love for you calling them master. All right? When they was on horses, right, and you was walking with chains on your feet, like Django. All right? Like Roots, like your actual descendants. That was just yesterday. Okay? You're their master. But remember what we just read. He says Esau will have a time to rule. Their time to rule was when we fell, when the Lord said, I'm done with y'all. Go away into your punishment until Lamentations 4:22. The punishment of the daughter of Zion is accomplished. It says, may you be the master over your brothers, and may your mother's sons bow down to you. Wow. And all who curse you will be cursed. Because remember, what we're going through now, everybody, he says in Jeremiah chapter 37, every single one of your enemies shall go into slavery. Every single one of them. In Deuteronomy chapter 30, verse 7, he says, all they that saw you be under these curses, they're going under these curses. You have to just know to understand the book. And let me just verify that was Jeremiah chapter 30, verse 7. I believe so. Normally I'm accurate. No. Why did I meant Deuteronomy chapter 30, verse 7. Forgive me for that. Yep. Yep. Even though that's a great chapter, right? I think I was thinking of Jeremiah 37 because that's the Jacob's trouble, and I didn't mean to go there, so just making sure. Yep. I didn't mean to mention Jacob's trouble. Deuteronomy chapter 37, which is what I said after. Now, Genesis 27, now we're at verse 37. Isaac said to Esau, I have made Jacob your master, and have declared, and we're going to go back to being their masters. Right now, they're still our masters. We still have to pay tax. We get thirsty. They get paid. We open a black-owned business, Latino-owned business. We ask for their permission. We register through their rules and regulations. We follow their codes and compliances. Though we have a label of black, it's just like Master P saying he got his own label. No, you're underneath a label. It's just like Cash Money. No, you're underneath Universal. Okay? Yeah, you may have the... whatever, we ain't got to go that deep. You understand what I'm putting down if you're wise. So just know, you got to pay taxes every year to somebody who never worked for you, and then those tax dollars get spent dropping bombs on people's heads, oppressing your neighborhoods, over policing your neighborhoods for people who ain't even grow up in it, who's scared of you and trigger happy, right? School teachers who don't look like you or don't care to teach you the right thing or can't even teach you the right thing because the curriculum is from your enemies as well. Do you see how mind-boggling this is? Let me slow it though. Genesis 27:29. So it says, may you be the master over your brothers, and may your mother's sons bow down to you. All who curse you will be cursed, and all who bless you will be blessed. Okay? As soon as Isaac had finished blessing Jacob. See, that's Jacob's blessing. We were at verse 37. I have made Jacob, Isaac said to Esau, your master, and have declared that all his brothers will be his servants. See, all these nations are our servants. I have guaranteed him an abundance of grain and wine. What is left for me to give you, my son? So Esau started crying, and in the 40th verse, this is Esau's blessing, the self-proclaimed white man. You will live by your sword, and you will serve your brother. Because remember, he told their mother, there's two twins in your, there's a set of twins in your womb, but they're two different nations. So it's a miracle already. They're completely different people, and they're fighting. All right, white cannot come from black cannot come out of two white people, but white can always come out of two black. So it was a miracle. All right, one of them came out red all over. I didn't mean to say white. One came out red all over. That's why they call themselves rednecks, blah blah blah, this and that. And if you are a white person watching this, every single white person is not an Edomite. Some of you guys are descendants out of us. Your spirit has to bear witness that this is the truth. And hey, you either do the work or you don't, because even if you is an Israelite and you don't do the work or don't understand this and come into this truth, you're cooked. So, at least the first go around. Now, it says, verse 40, you will live by your sword. They live by their weapon. They make threats. They kick ass and take names, right? And you will serve your brother. But when you decide to break free, you will shake his yoke from your neck. And many times have they shaken our yoke. Whenever we went into captivity or had problems during Babylon, right, they got back at us. In the wilderness, they was trying to press us, right? Now David had them as servants. Solomon had them as servants. You know, we brought them under subjugation many times, right? Under submission many times. But Esau Edom was his baddest with that weapon, started with King Alexander, and that's in the Apocrypha, the Greek times. All right, understanding what we went through as Greeks when they made us become Greeks. That's why you have in your Bible, there's no Jew or Greek. All right, because we were Greeks. We were forced. 2 Maccabees chapter 6, verse 6. I'm just giving you guys the quick hits real quick. All right, let's go to Lamentations 5:8. So I'm trying to show you, you are the masters. These other nations are servants, but you're in trouble with the Lord. So he allowed you to get, he said he will wound us with the wound of an enemy. Yeah, dude, he's our Father who's in heaven. And he said, I will wound you with the wound of an enemy. You got that right. The Lord definitely hit us with the wound of an enemy. I got people next to me and stuff like that. So it's best that I cover my eyes. I don't know. I'm just like that. So let's just deal with that. Lamentations 5:8. Servants have ruled over us. They're complaining about their position. And they say, servants have ruled over us. There is none that does deliver out of our hand, out of their hand. So they're servants, all right, because we're naturally their masters, ruling over the masters, just like he cursed us in Deuteronomy chapter 28, right? Let's go there. Deuteronomy chapter 28, verse 13. The Lord promised that we will be the head if we do everything that he say and not the tail. But then when you go to Deuteronomy 28, all right, and you go to verse 44, I think 44, watch. You go to verse 44, it says, he shall, start at 43, the stranger that is within you, the other nation, shall get up above you very high, and you shall come down very low. That's the curse. Sit in the low seat, right? He shall lend to you, and you shall not lend to him. That's why we have to go to their banks and ask for loans and mortgages and business and this, and the other. He shall be, they got credit scores on you and everything, right? You're under slavery. Baruch 3:8, where you at today in our slavery, subject to payments, right? Trapped in these bodies, all that. So he shall lend to you and you shall not lend to him. That's the curse, because we did not keep the Father's commandments. And you'll learn that later. That's the Lord's problem with us. He shall be the head and you shall be the tail. Okay, so now we're the tail, like we're last in line. We're at the bottom, okay, last place. That's not our original position, but unfortunately, through disobedience, that's what happened to us. So we're in a low seat. Solomon saw a vision as well in Ecclesiastes chapter 10. We'll start at verse 6, right? I need you to write these down and remember these precepts. You won't learn this in your whorehouse of a church, okay? Idol worship and demon church. So Ecclesiastes 10:6 says, folly, which is foolishness, is set. First off, Solomon saw a vision. So he was way back then, but Solomon was a prophet as well. So this is something in the future. He says, folly is set in great dignity. All right. So honor, dignity is honor. Okay. Folly is foolishness. So foolishness is, he saw the future. Foolishness is held in high regard. And the rich sit in the low seat. You know that we're the rich. Lamentations chapter 4, verse 1-2. He said, how are the precious sons of Zion comparable to fine gold, likened as an earthly pitcher? He said, how are the precious sons of Zion comparable to fine gold, likened as an earthly pitcher, right clay, poured out to the top of every streets? We're the rich, sit in the low seat, scattered amongst these other nations who we're supposed to be over. But because we cannot listen to our Father, we cannot handle the blessing yet. It's like the prodigal son. We're horrible till we get out of these fleshly bodies that makes us go off. We're learning the knowledge of good and evil. Verse 7 is important. All right. I have seen servants upon horses. Okay. I have seen servants upon horses. So that's why you had the white man on the horse, the red man, forgive me. The red man was on the horse during the times of slavery, right? Even to this day, you go to the stockyards, you go, if you in Texas, you know about all that, right? They love their horses down here, right? I've seen servants upon horses and princes. We're the princes walking as servants upon the earth. The sons of Zion, right? The sons of the Most High are the princes of the earth, the judges of the earth, and will be the kings of the earth and have been the kings of the earth. Okay, we have the highest dominion. Revelations 5:10 tells you, start at 9, he's going to pull us out of every nation, kindred, tongue, and all of that, because we're scattered amongst all nations, right? And verse 10, he will make us kings and priests and we shall reign on the earth. Okay. We will be kings. Again, kings. You're damn right. So it says, I have seen servants upon horses and princes walking as servants upon the earth. My goodness. What a vision. What a vision, Solomon. So that's that. And then Isaiah 14:2. I'm going to get a couple of these in the New Living Translation. Then we're going to go to the main point of the video, which is Ezekiel chapter 36. Because a lot of people don't understand you have an enemy. A lot of people don't understand that this book is complete. You got to understand the whole story before you get to top, blah, 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 talking off at the tongue because you love the red man so much. What about the other nations? You ain't trying to save them. You love your oppressor. The Bible talks about trusting in oppression, and the consequences of that, you're going to get cut off from your people, man. You ain't going to make it on the first go around. It says, what does he mean by the first go around? Hit subscribe, you'll find out. And the people shall take them, right? And bring them to their place. I cover this whole scripture many times. I just want to pull this one right now, and then we'll get an NLT. And the house of Israel shall possess them in the land of the Lord for servants and handmaids. Who was them? The other nations. Okay? For servants and handmaids. And they shall take them captives, which is slaves, whose slaves they were. And they shall rule over their oppressors. Okay? So yes, we were at the top, got humbled into the low seat. We're in that low seat right now. But one day we're going to get our enemies back. And we're going to rule over our oppressors because our servants became our masters. And when they were our masters, they oppressed us. Now our oppressors / masters are going to come back down forever. And we're going to go up forever. All right. Rich forever. Like Rick Ross said. You damn right. So, and it shall come to pass in the day that the Lord shall give you rest from your sorrow and from your fear and from the hard bondage where you was made to serve. You shall deliver this proverb to the king of Babylon, which is the red man. All right. They are the rulers of the great whore, Babylon the Great. All right. I want to grab a couple of those in the I want to get Lamentations 5:8 in the New Living Translation, just so you can have a little further understanding. Lamentations 5:8 in the New Living Translation. Of course, this was the time then, but it's also the time now. All right. This book is timeless. All right. Same people, same things, same souls. It's different. That's a lot to explain. Just work with me as you can work with me. All right. Lamentations 5:8 says, slaves have now become our masters. There is no one left to rescue us. Deuteronomy 28:68, King James Version only, because if you read that in the New Living Translation, it says we sold ourselves. No, we did not sell ourselves. That's a mistranslation right there. That's why I told you to be careful. But when you read Deuteronomy 28:68 in its correct translation, even in the Hebrew, it says that we were sold to our enemies and no man shall buy us, meaning no man will redeem us. No nation. You know how there's advocates for Palestine right now and they're protesting. All these nations are like, stop the genocide. When we were taken as slaves, nobody did that for us because no one cares about us. We're irrelevant. All right. No man wishes to save us. So that's that. Ecclesiastes 10:6. So remember, our slaves, damn, how did this happen? You know what I'm saying? Like the Lord told us in one of his chapters, he said, Israel, how are you growing old in your enemy's land? Like, wow, look at yourself. See, the Lord cold. He a cold man. He'll tell you, look at yourself. You look like a hot mess. How'd you end up in this position? Oh, disobedience. I told you not to mess with me now. Ecclesiastes 10:7 says, I have even seen servants riding horseback like princes, and princes walking like servants, because we was with them chains while the white man, the red man, my bad, walking on his horse with his shotgun, ready to blow your head off, all right, and put you to work. Yeah, Solomon saw that in a vision. He like, bro, this is vexation of spirit, man. For sure. So Isaiah 14:2, and then let's get into the main breakdown. And hey, y'all got y'all edification for today. We're gonna be live for hours at some point this week. You already know what time it is. Either maybe Sunday. Isaiah 14:2 says, the nations of the world will help the people of Israel return. We'll just read verse 1 and on down to 4. So, but the Lord will have mercy on the descendants of Jacob. This is a future prophecy telling you the future. He's going to have mercy on us. Right now, we're in the low seat. But he's going to come again because he's hiding himself from us right now because we're too evil. So he's gathering us by his spirit. But he's not pulling us completely out of trouble yet until the Lord cracked that sky. So he will choose Israel as his special people once again. People think that Israel is done away with. When we quote Deuteronomy chapter 7:6, and it says, the Lord has chosen you to be a holy people, which means separate people, set apart, a special people unto the Lord your God, above all people of the face of the earth. They like to say, oh, that's old news. Well, this is a future prophecy. In Numbers 23:19 says that the Lord is not a man that he should lie. He will choose Israel as his special people once again. He will bring them back to settle. This is in the kingdom. He will bring them back to settle once again in their own land. Right now, who's in our land? The red man and the least of the flock, Amalek. Right? While they're mixing everything up, saying that Palestine is Amalek. No, they are Amalek. All right, who was prophesied in Genesis that they're in that they will perish forever. So we'll talk about that another time. It says he will bring them back to settle once again in their own land, and people from many different nations will come and join them there and unite with the people of Israel. So yes, see, grafted in. No, let's see what that unity looks like. The nations of the world will help the people of Israel to return, and those who come to live in the Lord's land will serve them. So you're going to be living in the kingdom. Everybody's going to be in the new heaven and the new earth, but you're going to be in our kingdom, but you're going to be a servant to the Israelites. Okay, it says they will serve them. All right, that's what the kingdom of heaven looks like. Those who captured Israel will themselves be captured, and Israel will rule over its enemies. In that wonderful day when the Lord gives his people rest from sorrow and fear, we're still in sorrow and fear. We are not at rest yet. All right, Micah 2:10, that's a timeless scripture for whatever captivity we're in. Rise and depart, for this is not your rest. Okay, get out, do away with the Babylonian mindset. This is not your rest. All right, rise up, you women that are at ease. Isaiah chapter 32, verse 9, 11. All right, because Isaiah 32:2 has to happen. Ladies, you're going to have to get up under a man in order to get salvation. That's why Paul says some will be saved in childbearing. That's why Isaiah 4:1 says, in that day 7 women shall come to 1 man. You got to start to understand these scriptures. Hey, don't worry about it. You was warned, and you could go listen to Pastor Crawfish, Pastor Porkchop. He'll tell you it's all right. Keep on singing Sweet Jesus, even though we keep telling you that ain't his name and you have to learn the new name. We give you the post. I keep telling you, you can go to my community post and get the edification from the brothers who go into the language. And if you don't want it, you can't force a horse to drink water. Go on with your sweet white Jesus, and hey, good luck, buddy. You're going to need it, but there won't be no luck in that day. Wisdom and knowledge shall be the stability of your times and the strength of your salvation. Isaiah 33:6. All right. And the Lord uses the counsel of his men, all right, his secret counsel, his chosen men. Not everyone who says I'm an Israelite is supposed to teach you. Let your counselors be few, man. Subscribe to this channel. Subscribe to the brothers of Great Millstone. Also, I want to say double honors and peace and salutations to the elders, apostles, bishops of Great Millstone. All right, beautiful, beautiful, beautiful brothers, from the youngest of them to the oldest, man. Those of you who are doing it sincere, and also to the my brother Tazabah, all right, to the affiliated camps of who are in like mind and spirit, and the sincere brothers like myself. So yeah, that's that, man. Now let's go to the closer, Ezekiel chapter 36. This is going to prove to you that there's demons in our land. The Lord already knew that. That's not a surprise to us. We understand the synagogue of Satan. We already know that. Revelations 2:9, Revelations 3:9. People are posing to be Jews. They're not. They're liars. So this is Ezekiel chapter 36. I recommend you read 35 on your own terms. But let's get into it. It says, Son of man, prophesy, which means to tell the future. Prophesy to Israel's mountains. He's talking about the actual land of Israel. Give them this message, because remember, everything is alive. All right, the land of Israel is alive. The land of America is alive, right? The mountains are alive. The trees are alive. Everything. The Lord is the Lord and the creator of all the living. Okay. Trees will rejoice when this devil is out of power. All the creation of the earth cannot wait until the true sons of the power, sons of Yahweh, are manifested. Okay. We are not manifested yet, and we are not yet what we shall appear to be either. We're going to get out of these vile, corrupt, disgusting bodies, and we're going to be bossed up, even our women and children. So, son of man, prophesy, which means speak to Israel's mountains. Give them this message, O mountains of Israel. Hear the word of the Lord. This is what the sovereign Lord says. Your enemies have taunted you, saying, aha. See, our enemies as the people, because Jerusalem is a people before the place, are the enemies to the actual land as well. So your enemies have taunted you, saying, aha, now the ancient heights belong to us. When you read it in the King James Version, it says, aha, even the ancient high places are in our possession. So that's the red devil, man, right? The Satan-like man. When you go into 2 Thessalonians chapter 2, verse 7 through 9, it talks about that wicked man that has to be revealed, doing the works of the devil, right? You go into the devil, which is Diablos. It says a man. You go into Satanus. That Greek word, a Satan-like man, That's why we say he's the devil. Literally, when you understand etymology and the breakdown of words in Greek and Hebrew, you will start to get smarter, okay? That's why you need to learn from the right teachers. So they're bragging about taking over the land of Israel, but the Lord already warned us, Yahushua, in Luke chapter 21:24, that once we're separated into all the nations of the earth, that Gentiles, not Israelite Gentiles, the real Gentiles, that, because those are two different things. That's why you don't understand your New Testament. You don't understand Israelites were Gentiles. We still are, because we're not in our land. Strangers and heathen as well. And you got to know context of which one it's talking about. That's why you need your teachers. Listen, Linda. All right. People want to read the Bible by themselves and avoid these videos, and they hanging themselves. You need counsel, man. Sirach chapter 6 verse 32 through 36. My son, if you will, you shall be taught. Go on down to 36. If you see a man of understanding, get behind him betimes and wear out the doorpost of his step. Wear out the steps of his doorpost. Now, back to a little more understanding. The red man has taken over our nation, our actual physical landmass of Israel, and they're over there right now posing to be you, dropping bombs on people's heads, getting donations, because everybody know if you bless Israel, you shall be blessed. If you curse Israel, you shall be cursed. And they're just living it up. So the Lord is like, oh, I know they're boasting, right? Now the ancient heights belong to us. The land of Israel is ours, right? Therefore, son of man, give the mountains of Israel this message from the sovereign Lord. So the Lord is about to give the land some comfort. Okay, so he's saying your enemies have attacked you from all directions, making you the property of many nations and the object of much mocking and slander. Right? Didn't you have Palestinians shouldn't even be in our land like that? Hamite Africans shouldn't be in our land like that. When we came in there with Joshua and Caleb, we were supposed to wipe all them out and live there. But we went in there making them our servants, making them our taskmasters, making them, not our taskmasters, forgive me, my goodness, but making them work for us. We were their taskmasters, right? So the Lord is saying, you've been dogged out by many nations, but this is the land that I've given to my chosen people, the land of milk and honey. But when they had it, they were killing each other. We'll get into the story. Let's keep reading. I hope you're with me, though. We're in verse 4 now. Therefore, O mountains of Israel, hear the word of the sovereign Lord. Ezekiel chapter 36, verse 4, New Living Translation. All right. Therefore, O mountains of Israel, hear the word of the sovereign Lord. He speaks to the hills and mountains, ravens and valleys, and to ruined wastes, right? Ruined places and long deserted cities that have been destroyed and mocked by the surrounding nations. Israel was surrounded by all nations, by the way. Moab was there, Esau was right there. That's why we mixed with a lot of them nations, and a lot of you all look mixed too, especially our northern kingdom tribes, right? Hosea chapter 7 goes into that, King James version only. So it says, ruined waste and long deserted cities that have been destroyed and mocked by the surrounding nations. Verse 5, this is the sovereign Lord. This is what the sovereign Lord says. It's getting good, man. Stay with me. My jealous anger burns against these nations, especially Edom. So especially that red devil, because he made him the most proud. He made him the base of men, the lowest of his creation of man, but the most wicked, the most powerful, and the most dominant. And he got to rule for the longest. And they're eventually going to become extinct according to the book of Obadiah. And they will never teach you that. That's a secret. But that's after 1,000 years in the kingdom that they're going to have with us in servitude, in captivity, for payback for what they've done. So it says, especially Edom. So the Father Creator says, I have burning anger against Edom. They won't tell you that in church, because they have shown utter contempt for me by gleefully, which means cheerfully, taking my land for themselves as plunder. What is plunder? Like booty, spoil of war, spoil, right? Pillaging. All right, they stole it. Therefore prophesy to the hills and mountains. You better go read Habakkuk chapter 2. Therefore prophesy to the hills and mountains. So because they've done this, give this word, because when the Lord gives his word, he makes sure it comes to pass. Isaiah chapter 55, 10 through 11, he says, as it rains and snows and it does not go back up to the sky, so is my word. It will do everything that I said, and it will not go unaccomplished. All right, Isaiah 46 and 10, he says, my counsel shall stand, right? He calls the ending from the beginning, right? He calls from ancient times things that are not even yet done. This is the power of our Lord. He knows the future, he claims the future, and you just got to sit back and wait till it happens. So they cannot fight this. You can't go into Paul's letters trying to confuse things. You go into the New Testament saying this don't matter, that don't matter. We know the end of the story. And if you show me the end of the movie, it don't matter what you thought happened in all that. If it was written that John Carter is going to die and I saw John Carter die in the end, that's what happens. I don't care if you said in the middle. Oh, in the middle it said he's going to make it. Well, his conclusion was that John Carter died. If you're picking up what I'm putting down. Now, it says, because they have shown, verse 6. Therefore prophesy to the hills and mountains, the ravens and valleys of Israel. This is what the sovereign Lord says. I am furious. I am furious that you have suffered shame before the surrounding nations. Therefore, this is what the sovereign Lord says. I have taken a solemn oath that those nations will soon have their own shame to endure. That's why Obadiah chapter 115 says the day of the Lord is unto all the heathen, as they have done to you, his people, so shall it be done to them. That's why Deuteronomy chapter 30 verse 7, quoting it again, all the curses that was put onto us shall be put onto them. It's the big payback, man. But judgment is going to begin with his own people at the house of the Lord, and then they all gonna get it. So he says, he says, therefore, this is what the sovereign Lord says. I have taken a solemn oath that those nations will soon have their own shame to endure, but the mountains of Israel will produce heavy crops of fruit for my people. So it looks like a desert land now in a sandbox, but it's going to be a fruitful field for us. For they will be coming home again soon. That's what we're trying to tell y'all. That's the gospel. That's the good news. It says, see, I care about, okay, forgive me. Oh, goodness. Trying to I need my tripod, man. I just ruined everything. All right, give me 1 second. All right, that's cool. All right, so he says see, I care about you and I will pay attention to you. He didn't leave forever. Your ground will be plowed and your crops planted. I will greatly increase the population of Israel. See, that's why our women going to be saved in childbearing. That's why 7 women going to come to 1 man, which is a perfect number of completion, which means it could be however many the Lord choose for each man to get. But when all hell break loose here, they're going to be running to a man. All that don't need a man now, oh, you going to be assigned to a man, or you just going to burn up in the second death. All right, that's what it is. You're going to be useful or you're going to be thrown away. All right. The Lord created women for a whole different way than how Babylon the Great, aka America, pumps out to the whole world this romance, this one man, one woman garbage. No, we're a nation. All right. You're assigned to a God, a man. Okay. Psalm 82:6 says we are gods, but the curse is we shall die like men. So right now we're in our man. We're trapped in this man body, but we're going to have glorified tabernacles, new Jerusalem. That's what that is. New bodies. Okay. He's going to give us a new heart. You got to go into Jeremiah 31:31 on down. You got to go to Jeremiah 32:39 through 42. All right. Hebrews. It's many places you can go to learn about this, right? But that's another topic too, man. Let's continue. So it says, this is what the sovereign Lord says. All right. Forgive me. Hold on. We need to keep. They will be coming home again soon. See, I care about you and I will pay attention to you. Your ground will be plowed and your crops planted. I will greatly increase the population of Israel, and the ruined cities will be rebuilt and filled with people, because he's going to make that land desolate because there's people there that shouldn't be there. They got to get wiped out, and then it's going to become a desert again, and we're going to bring them when we come back there, and they're going to build it back up. All right. So it says, I will greatly increase the population of Israel, and the ruined cities will be rebuilt and filled with people. I will increase not only the people, but also your animals, O mountains of Israel. I will bring people to live on you once again. I will make you even more prosperous than you were before. Oh, it's going to be even better. My goodness. Call Halal Yahweh Ba'ashem Yahweh Shah. Then you will know that I am the Lord. I will cause my people to walk on you once again, and you will be their territory. You will never again rob them of their children. All right. Come on now. This is what the sovereign Lord says. The other nations taunt you, saying Israel is a land that devours its own people and robs them of their children. But you will never again devour your people or rob them of their children, says the sovereign Lord. Wicked things was done in Israel when we possessed it. I will not let you hear those other nations insult you, and you will no longer be mocked by them. You will not be a land that causes its nation to fall, says the sovereign Lord. Then this further message, because our people couldn't handle the land of Israel. We were wicked. We couldn't handle it. This we were puffed up and neglected the laws of the land. The laws of the Father too. Then this further message came to me from the Lord, Son of man. So he has something else to say. When the people of Israel were living in their own land, they defiled it by the evil way they lived. To me, their conduct was as unclean as a woman's menstrual cloth, as a tampon. Our works was as unclean as a tampon. The Lord is not playing around. He says, they polluted the land with murder and the worship of idols. So I poured out my anger, my fury on them. I scattered them to many lands to punish them for the evil that they had lived. Okay? That's why we were slaves. That's why it happened. Now you got your answer. All right? But they were scattered among the nations. All right? They brought shame on my holy name. For the nation said, these are the people of the Lord. But he couldn't keep them safe in his own land. Then I was concerned for my holy name. So for his name's sake, he like, oh, I got to do something about this. He always stunning on the other nations. But you over here thinking for God so loved the world as in everybody. No, the world of Israel. Isaiah 45:17. World without end. Israel shall be saved with an everlasting salvation. Scriptures have friends. Get to know the gang or get out the game. You ain't going to understand the rules. So it says, then I was concerned for my holy name on which my people brought shame among the nations. Therefore, give the people of Israel this message. So he was talking to the land first. Now he's giving the people of Israel a message. So this is to you. We're almost done. It says, I am bringing you back, but not because you deserve it. That's right. Call Allah, Yahweh, Bahashim, Yahweh Shah. We're all filthy rags. I'm doing it to protect my holy name. Faith without works is dead, though. All right, you better eat the whole roll. That ain't no excuse. I am doing it to protect my holy name. So he sent his spirit to help us. On which you brought shame, which his spirit will leave you. Wisdom of Solomon 1:5, and so will wisdom. Sirach chapter 4, verse 19. So you better walk circumspectly. I'm doing it to protect my holy name, on which you brought shame while you were scattered among the nations, right? Because even in America, Jamaica, Haiti, Puerto Rico, Cuba, Dominican Republic, Europe, Asia, China, wherever we are right now, we're disrespecting the Lord's name as a collective. Our people are still filth and trash. Serving other gods, loving other people more than we love our own selves, preferring other nations, preferring other customs, and we're vile and corrupt. Not training up our children in the laws of the Lord. So he says, I will show how holy my great name is, the name on which you brought shame among the nations. And when I reveal my holiness through you before their very eyes, see, he's going to show off his power through us in front of the other nations. But you still thinking John 3:16. Okay, keep thinking that. It says, and when I reveal my holiness through you before their very eyes, see, you're a spectacle to the world. We're a big show, says the sovereign Lord. Right now it's a bad show, but it's going to turn into a good one. All right, for us, the sovereign Lord. Then the nations will know that I am the Lord, for I will gather you up from all the nations and bring you home again to your land. That's what Revelations 5:9 is saying. Pull you out of every kindred, tongue, and nation. Some of us look like these other nations through mixture, but we're still Israelites because that father seed line, whether you know it or not, your spirit bears witness we are the children of God. Revelations 5:9 is your answer to who that great multitude is in Revelation 7:9, which links up with 2nd Ezra chapter 2 verse 42 on down too. That great multitude are all Israelites. Okay, outside of the 144,000 who are the Lord's tabernacle of David. His house of David is his governing authority, who are going to be the future Revelations 5:10 kings and priests that reign on earth. All right, Lord willing, I'm of that number. So he says, before their eyes, I will gather you up from that. I will gather you up. I am the Lord. For I will gather you up from all nations and bring you home again to your land. That's why Isaiah 14 that we read earlier, verse 1 says, I will choose Israel and bring them into their own land. And then we're going to have these people build up our city. You better go read Isaiah chapter 60. Go read Isaiah chapter 61. Then I will sprinkle clean water on you, and you will be clean. Your filth will be washed away. That's going into our new bodies, all right? Because no flesh and blood can enter into the kingdom of heaven. And you will no longer worship idols. That's our biggest sin. And I will get other gods, trading in our perfect God for new ones. And I will give you a new heart. That goes into Jeremiah 32:39. All right. And I will put a new spirit in you. That's Jeremiah 31:31 on down. It says, I will take out your stony, stubborn heart, you know Jake, and give you a tender, responsive heart. You're going to reciprocate the energy that the Lord tried to give you. And I will put my spirit in you so that you will follow my decrees and be careful to obey my regulations. See, if you're going to be careful, it's because he's going to put that fear back to respect him. We're not going to be able to go off. We've lost the fear of the Lord. All right. Because y'all want to see to believe. The Lord didn't hid himself. Come on now. And you will live in Israel, the land I gave your ancestors long ago. You will be my people and I will be your God. Where do you see other nations in this? I will cleanse you of your filthy behavior. Oh, we're disgusting. I will give you good crops of grain. We're eating trash now. And I will send no more famines on the land. We suffer many famines. Many times we starve to death in our own land because of disobedience. He says, I will give you great harvest from your fruit trees and fields, and never again will the surrounding nations be able to scoff at your land for its famines. Then you will remember, they got sent there from Egypt. He split the sea, killed Pharaoh and his army, and hold on, just to starve them? You know, they always talk crap. But remember, says the sovereign Lord, I'm not doing this because you deserve it. Oh, my people of Israel, you should be utterly ashamed of all you have done. That's right. We're going to loathe ourselves. This is what the sovereign Lord says. We're loathing ourselves now, those of us who have wisdom and knowledge. You 2/3 going to loathe yourselves again later. This is what the sovereign Lord says. When I cleanse you from all your sins, I will repopulate your city. See, childbirth. They didn't teach you that either. There's no marriage in heaven. You don't understand that scripture. And it says, I will repopulate your cities and the ruins will be rebuilt. The fields that used to lie empty and desolate in plain view of everyone will again be farmed like we see it now, and it's going to be even more desolate. And when I bring you back, people will say this former wasteland is now like the Garden of Eden. You see them imposters over there right now. Why the land don't look like the Garden of Eden? Huh? Why it ain't peace? Because those aren't the people. Those are the pretenders. The abandoned and ruined cities now have strong walls and are filled with people, because them heathen gonna build up our kingdom and we gonna flourish there and reproduce. Then the surrounding nations that survive what? The nuclear missiles, the destruction. There's gonna be survivors. So those that survive will know that I, the Lord, have rebuilt the ruins and replanted the wasteland. For I, the Lord, have spoken, and I will do what I say. But you learn from your church, oh no, he didn't mean that. He ain't going to do it. He said, I will do what I say. Numbers 23:19, the Lord is not a man that he should lie. This is what the sovereign Lord says. I am ready to hear Israel's prayers and to increase their numbers like a flock. A lot of Israel right now, your prayers are not being answered because he said the prayers of the wicked are an abomination. You cannot pray to the Lord and you're not doing his will. That's why faith without works is dead. James chapter 4, go read that. It says they will be as numerous as the sacred flocks that fill Jerusalem's streets at the time of her festivals. The ruined cities will be crowded with people once more, and everyone will know that I am the Lord. Hey, I want to say, call halal, Yahweh, Bahashem, Yahweh Shai, Bahashem Rakahakwadash. All right, double honors and glory. All right. Double honors and peace and salutations for sure to the elders, apostles, and bishops of Great Millstone who teach us this truth through the spirit of prophecy. All right, we are picking up what you put it down. The Lord is quickening a lot of us. This is a channel, a house of wisdom. Okay, Lord willing, he continues me on that path. Shalom.